Hello and welcome back to Bookish. Today I wanted to review The Trees by Percival Everett. This is a book that I just finished reading over the weekend. As a matter of fact, if you know anything about me, you know I'm a really slow reader, and yet I read this book in about 36 hours. It's about 300 pages long. Part of that is helped by the structure of the book. The chapters are really short, oftentimes dialogue heavy. It has a propulsive pace to it, which makes it easy to read, and in part is because I just really love this book. I thought this was great, and so I wanted to come here and talk to you about it. Now, before I start my review, I will point out that I've seen two great reviews, at least two great reviews, of The Trees by Percival Everett on other booktubers' channels. One was Mark Nash, who did this as part of did a review or overview of the book as part of his Friday Reads. I'll leave a link to that down below. And then Sean from Travel Through Stories also did a longer review, which really is, I think, an excellent review of the book, which I'm not sure my review is going to come anywhere close to. But I did want to talk about the book because I do love to review books that I find to be really great, or really important, or really powerful. And this is definitely one of those. So let me repeat something that generally comes at the beginning of these reviews. The Trees begins in Money, Mississippi, with an introduction to and the murder of two white men. One white man is murdered, and when his body is discovered, there's the body of an African-American man there as well. The white man who was murdered has been choked to death more or less with a piece of barbed wire, and he's been castrated. The African-American man who's there, who's also dead, who appears to have been dead for quite some time, holds the white man's testicles in his hands. When the police and the coroner show up and they take the bodies away and begin the investigation, lo and behold, the body of the African-American man disappears, only to reappear at the murder of a second white man in Money, Mississippi, who dies in a similar way, and the body of the African-American man is there again holding the testicles of the white man who's been killed. And then the body of that African-American man disappears for a second time, only to reappear at the death of a white woman who was connected to those two white men who were murdered. And then the body is actually the police are actually able to hold on to the body. This story of the disappearing body draws the attention of the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations, and they send two African-American officers to Money, Mississippi to investigate. And that investigation is going to lead them into a world of stereotypically racist white people and stereotypical white people in the South, white people with names like Junior Junior, or a woman who goes by the name of something like Hot Mama Yeller or something like that. That even her kids call her. And there's this kind of over-the-top portrayal of white people in the South in these really stereotypical ways. And you need to know that that's not by accident. That is on purpose, as is the race of the two Mississippi Bureau of Investigations officers who go to investigate. They're African Americans. When they're joined by by a female African American FBI agent, that kind of idea of African Americans investigating the deaths of white racist citizens in Money, Mississippi begins to carry a lot more weight. Now, you need to know that in part, The Trees is satire. It is a satire on racial injustice and the history of racist violence in the United States. And as a satire, it is bitingly effective. Laugh out loud funny. Just the names of the characters alone oftentimes brings a chuckle. The situation that exists in the South at the time, it's kind of over-the-top stereotyping of white Southerners as all being overweight and drunk and racist and uncouth, is done on purpose as a form of satire, as is, I think, the completely normal, almost like as though Everett intentionally created his African American policemen to be as it's almost as bland as possible, to be just kind of like normal people operating under extraordinary circumstances who go to Money, Mississippi and have all their worst fears about the white South confirmed. There is a hysterical chapter in here about the KKK organization in Money, Mississippi meeting and how inept and stupid and foolish that all is. But as we go on and as the investigators dig deeper, and as these crimes begin to take place all over the United States that mirror the ones that took place in Money, Mississippi, you know, we begin to see more nuances among the white population. We begin to learn more about the white population and the population of other places, and we begin to see, you know, an emerging idea of who may be responsible for these things, which really puts the police officers in this book in a difficult situation, and it really brings home a lot of very powerful issues. You know, there is a lot of information here and a lot of truth about America's racist past. There are things that challenge our ideas and kind of mock the tendency in the past to use racial stereotypes. There are real questions asked here about justice and what is justice, what does justice look like, and should vengeance be a part of justice? Those questions are asked, as well as just kind of a constant repetition of crimes and finding out about this information, which brings to light and highlights the history of lynching in the United States of America. In reading the book, I was reminded of the work of several other books that I've read. To a certain extent, the violence reminded me to a certain extent of parts of Roberto Bolaño's 2666. Was reminded in some ways of Toni Morrison's Song of Solomon. What is his name? His last name's Barrett, but he wrote the book Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Even some echoes of World War Z here, echoes of the book of Exodus from the Bible. There's a whole lot going on here, and Everett is able to push the satire in the book right up to the breaking point, but never having it break, and use that satire and use everything he's collected and use all this information and use all these different types of people and different events taking place and events from American history in ways which really create a powerful and effective book, which was remarkable to read and I think very well written, and in some ways just a true work of genius. So if you want to know more details about the book and about the plot and things like that, and maybe hear somebody talk about the book more coherently and maybe a little less fanboyish than I did, please check out Mark's review and Sean's review. Again, the links to that will be down below, but I can't recommend highly enough that you pick up and read, however you get your hands on one, a copy of The Trees by Percival Everett. I just think it's a really great book, and I imagine it will be probably in my list of top 10 books that I've read by the end of the year. Anyway, there are my thoughts about The Trees by Percival Everett. I look forward to your comments in the comment section below, and as always, thank you for watching.